Hello everybody, working on getting started here. So let's see, here we go. Okay, so we're going live on mobile and going live on desktop as well here. So let me get all this situated. Thought I'd talk a little bit today about Killer Joe. We had a request for that last time, and might have a slight hiss in our volume. Hopefully it's not too bad, but something I'm working at. Not sure steps I need to take, but I've got a little gate going on. So I mentioned too, as folks are coming in, that the channel has reached 10,000 subscribers. So we just passed that that mark. So that's a pretty cool thing. So that's really kind of a cool thing for the channel, and I appreciate everybody who has followed and subscribed. And so if you haven't already, we'll do that. So I thought I'd talk a little bit about warming up and all that kind of thing. And something I've been talking to my private students about quite a bit lately. And so I'll share some things that I personally do, and it's not really so much what I'm playing, but how I'm approaching things. So I'll approach things very slow when I first start, and I'll just, maybe even just play a single note. I'll take the pick and follow through and land on the next string, something like that. Maybe internally, just really trying to sound that note as well. So that some of the perspectives on, excuse me, warming up and what to do, and this could also tie over into playing and practicing. But kind of going slow, working on fundamentals. I'm keeping my palm on these lower sounding strings, and I'm keeping my index on these higher strings. So string control. So the middle two strings are kind of where there tends to be a lot of issue with unintended playing on the open strings. So those are some things, but as far as content, there are some exercises, like I think I've mentioned before, that I like to do the chromatic scale, and I like to do it in a few different ways. There's all 4 fingers. Okay. And then you can do maybe 3 fingers, which is kind of cool, because then you can try a few different approaches as far as accenting. So it can feel like doing 3 you get this kind of cool rhythm. So like 1 and 2 and 3 and right. So da 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 da. And then you can practice different things, like sort of making it sound more even, as if you were doing it with 4 fingers. So right, which can kind of be a challenge too, because once we start feeling a pattern, we might accent a little bit on that. So and then 2 fingers are also nice to just kind of move, and it can really help you, you know, kind of get, you know, in touch with where is the next semitone on the next string. So want to be able to find that quickly as you cross over string. So some pretty cool like exercises like that. Like I said, I'm going to get into a little bit talking about Killer Joe here, because I haven't put together a video for it, or I have maybe in the past, but we had a suggestion last Sunday, I think, about it on the Sunday live stream. So Sunday morning, at least Eastern time, come and hang here and with me and chat a little bit, and I'll try to give some information based on what folks have been asking me about and what I've been interested in, and have a bit of a hang on Sunday. So I think I'm going to keep this going. Seems like I can get a half hour or so in the morning. Played a really nice gig last night with the Blue Moon Big Band, and that was out at a former vineyard, which still, you know, produces grapes, but they don't actually sell wine. But they have the vineyard all set up. It's really really nice pond and everything, and it was really a beautiful experience, and pretty nice because some of these private events can't necessarily bring family members, but on this particular one, we were allowed to kind of do that, so that was pretty cool for them too, to just kind of experience something that we ordinarily wouldn't. Okay, well, let's talk a little bit about this tune, Killer Joe. Some pretty kind of nice features that you could do with it, and I don't even remember what exactly I went into on the video that I did in the past, but check the channel there. So we have maybe a bass line we could do here. Right? And then maybe repeat that. So if you're playing a gig or just kind of hanging out with friends and playing, you can create a little bit of an intro, you know, by doing this, and then maybe let the bass player kind of take over and then free you up. But we can also play some chords, do some finger style here. So if we have a C and then C13, oftentimes we play C13 over here, but notice that if I had a 7th string, this would work. But we're trying to get this bass line going. Right? So you can hold this, same 3 notes as this. Right? And maybe get this a little bit of a bass line going. Right? So that's kind of maybe a cool little feature of it to play. What I'm doing there is holding we got 2nd finger on string 3, 1st finger, and then I'm barring two strings on fret 5. Right. So then I'm just holding that. Okay, and then moving down then I'm plucking basically the same chord on first fret. Right, so that's kind of the idea there as far as that goes. But when you go, when you have the bass player, you can always move over here again. Right. The melody at the beginning is fairly simple. Let me see if I can change up my view here. One thing that's pretty interesting about this tune is the bridge or the B section. Okay, let me refresh and check in here. Looks like everything is functioning okay. Okay. All right. So we have okay. So we have the F and the E and then the G, which is the 13. So you may put a chord on that next one. But if you play a chord at the beginning, maybe you could do something along those lines and get a little chord melody thing going. All right, and then we have and then we're gonna basically kind of repeat that. And then this is going to change a little bit. So, one thing I want to do, putting some things together is know how a note relates to a chord. So this one at the end, that's the 5th of the C7. Right? And then, let's see, what could we put? You could probably arrange this so that you can maybe get this note to ring out. So. If you wanted to do that sort of thing. Okay, and then improvising on that. So many different kind of approaches, but one of the first things you can try to do is see if you can just have a general awareness of what the chord tones are as you're moving. Right, so maybe the third of the chord. Third of the chord. So maybe focus on that a little bit, or see if you can get the root going. So here I'm talking about the starting note, right? So 5. And then see if you can maybe move to a different chord tone as you move to the next chord. So a root note. Maybe the 5th, land on the 5th of the next one. And the nice thing on guitar is that, if you have this chord changing, it's easy to take your shapes Excuse me. It's easy to take your shapes down. So you play a line here. I'm just playing the same thing down. And people like to hear sequence, and people, I guess I shouldn't speak for people, but I would say audiences in general, they like to hear something. Oh, I kind of heard that, but now it's slower. And even kind of non-musicians. So do a little something like that. Do maybe 3 things of the same, almost the same exact thing, and then maybe the 4th time let it go in a different direction, or let it maybe trail into something different, or elaborate on it. So those are some kind of cool, I think, approaches. All right, so let's see what we got here. Let's dive into this bridge here in a moment. All right, the bridge gets pretty kind of involved. Okay, so we have E minor 7, flat 5. So let's say we're working at a chord melody kind of thing. All right, so we've got that E minor 7 flat 5, and we have this G in the melody. Now we can keep that going, rearrange these fingers. So this appears to be an E diminished 7, but really kind of thinking about A 7 flat 9. Okay, and then we can go to A7. We can play really a straightforward 3rd inversion, A7 chord. Or if you want to get a little more dissonance involved, play this voicing, which gives you the flat 9 on the bottom. Okay, and then we're going to go to E minor 7 with the B flat in the melody. Now we could play the minor 9 version of that chord. Okay, but this kind of ties into something that I did on a few shorts this past week. We have E flat minor, and this note carries over on top. So you have the 2 5 like this. Okay, so a really good practical example of what you can do with that short if you saw that. So you can play that. So there we're back to the plain old E flat minor 7 first inversion, and then you're letting this note ring on top and changing the notes below to A flat 9. Next melody note is C. We have an A flat 13 flat 9, but what I'd really recommend is start with the simplest possible thing you can do, and then see if you can build it out from there. Okay, so you might want a flat 9 on that. Okay, you may want to try a 13 on that. So kind of build out from something simple, right? Pretty cool sounding voicing. So that would be A flat 13 flat 9. All right. I think just for continuity, maybe I'll just kind of keep this going. So we have a C sharp, okay, and have an A7. So if you want to, elaborate on this chord, A7, we can, I oftentimes think of some of these shapes as like ukulele sort of voicings, if you had a capo there. So here we can kind of elaborate on that. Play this chord. So this gives us a 9 and a 13. Kind of a tough fingering to land, but worth kind of checking out. All right, and let's say we have A flat 7. Okay. So we have E flat in the melody, and we have the third inversion of A flat 7. Okay, go to E minor. Okay. And then here, maybe play an A7 with a flat 9. Keep that melody sort of going on top. All right, everybody. Well, I'll be here for another maybe 10 minutes. So let me know if you have any questions or comments. And yeah, we're talking a little bit today about Killer Joe. Some approaches, some thoughts on that. I think if you search my channel, you probably will find a video on it, maybe melody video. I think Benny Golson is a really great composer to study. Really look at all of his tunes. So I think there's a lot to be gained there. So I highly recommend this tune and others. Well, let's check out the melody. See what kind of, if we string the melody together. Let's look at the intervals and see if we can maybe piece together some concepts on it. So we have a G. Okay, we have A. Okay, let's go to the next string with B flat. We have C. We have C sharp, E flat, and E. So let's take all of the context of the harmony away for a moment and just think about if we had to name a scale on that, what would that be? Let's do it on one string. So we have this. Okay. So notice our intervals: whole, half, whole, half, whole, half. Right? If we considered maybe there's a pattern to it, we could say half, whole. But there's no F in there. So you might think about the octatonic type scale, possibly. But in the context of the tune, things are changing, right? So it would be hard to say like, okay, it is this one scale, right? And that's one thing that that I'd like to kind of maybe emphasize as I make these videos for the YouTube channel and all is the sort of dynamic, changing nature of harmony, especially with jazz tunes or jazz standards or tunes written in the genre of jazz. Is that things are kind of changing, so get accustomed to me playing a few notes. Right, so it's gonna be, you know, beneficial to maybe even have 4 notes, 5 notes, 6 notes or something to pull from as you play, and like maybe study you know, the scales and the chord scales, modes and arpeggios, and you know, kind of putting it all kind of together. Right, so we want to think about, you know, what is the purpose of each activity that you're doing in your practice session. You know, if you're playing, you know, you know, a scale. What is it that you're trying to achieve on there? Are you trying to imprint patterns? Are you trying to hear what that sounds like on a G major 7? Are you working on your position playing? Are you working on fingering? Are you working on sound? So I would recommend, you know, just setting out like an intention each time that you practice something. Like I'm doing this specific thing for this specific purpose, right? So say, well, I'm gonna play a G major scale here in this position, and then I'm gonna, you know, try to get my fingers situated so I make a nice solid sound, right? You know, something like that. And you know, I would also just try to not take anything as a judgment on yourself or your skills. Just try to be engaged, but, you know, kind of somewhat detached on a personal level. So just like, kind of like good sound, you know. Right. Or let's say you do something like that. So, you know, then you say, okay, you know, without any judgment, just kind of go back and say, well, how do I fix that? You know, okay, it's buzzing. Either I'm not pressing hard enough, or my finger placement's not great. Right, so okay, and then see if you can do that, you know, 10 times reliably with a good, you know, kind of consistent tone and all that. All right, well, it was a pretty quiet day today on the chats and everything. So hopefully folks will re-watch, but I do hope you enjoyed this, those folks who checked it out. And the mobile live stream, doing the desktop live stream here. I should be back sometime next, or in the week, either Wednesday or Thursday. Keep an eye out. Wednesday or Thursday. Maybe I'll noodle a little bit here for a minute. thanks so much for watching. Thanks for checking this out. And I will see you all in the next one. Have a great practice session. Take it easy. Enjoy the instrument. Have fun with it. Make progress. And let me know if you have any questions or comments that I can kind of give my take on, and playing and practicing and performing for a long time. So I have some things that I'm sure can help you out on your journey, whether you're beginner or just trying to take things to the next level or anything like that. So be sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one.